Hello and welcome to MGP285. I'm Kevin, with me as ever. Who cares? There's Sheepdog, Anna, and Pab. Say hello, boys and girls.
Hello.
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 That's the best intro I've ever done. I think that's officially the best intro I've ever done and not then gone back and re-recorded it. So I'm quite proud of it. If Pab cares about this podcast the way he claims he does, he'll go back and edit in the intro from last week so I didn't fumble over the intro from this week. So that's going to be your test, dear listeners, about how much Pab really cares. Did I just fumble the intro, or is this meaningless nonsense that makes no sense to anybody?
See,
Let me know on Twitter, because I'm not listening to this back.
it comes across more genuine, more real if you leave the flubs in.
Does it?
Yeah.
Well, there you
It's
go
too
then.
prestige.
It's like
being
The Wire and Breaking Bad, we're just being gritty.
Yeah.
I'm known for my grittiness.
It's because you're just dirty. You roll around in sand a lot.
I love sand. How are we all on this fine week, anyway?
Yeah, good.
Yeah. I'm all right. It's good.
So normally we get antics from at least one of you.
Oh.
Well,
Usually, specifically one of you at this point. We filled the first 15 minutes with a story about male pattern baldness or something.
Well, I told you about the competition I entered where I didn't know what happened. Yeah, we can't talk about that.
I think Sheepdogs don't ask
Don't
Anna.
ask. Don't
Sheepdog has spent his evening reading 1980s stand-up routines. He's just full of sexist.
You're telling me that you heard that gag in the 90s. You must have hung around with some hilarious people. I've had an up and down week. My axolotl lives in my fridge now.
Yeah, explain yourself.
So
So it stopped eating.
you just
And
wanted to keep the food on hand.
Yeah, you
well,
put it where the food is.
The cure apparently is to cool them down so they have a poo. I don't really get it.
What?
But before that, I kind of tried other things. I tried buying a different food. I bought some shrimp, live shrimp, and put them in the tank. And I thought I'd come down to like loads of dead shrimp corpses where she'd eaten half of them because she'd realised that they're really tasty. But they've set up their own community. And all they do all day is they scuttle around the tank cleaning up all the mess while the axolotl just sits there refusing to eat anything. I dropped a pellet of food in front of her face. It was like inches from her mouth. And rather than eat it, she just sat there whilst the little shrimp just come and broke the food apart and carried it all off into their little. I've got this like algae ball they seem to have turned into the storage thing.
So
So you have pet shrimp now.
yeah.
Yeah, I have like 10 shrimp and an axolotl that lives in the fridge. I think when she's better, she'll just go in there and kill them all. But I've also lost count. I'm sure I tried to count them the other day just to see if any had been like killed in the filter or something. But I'm sure there's more than 10 in there now. So I think I've started a shrimp farm. Yeah, it's just a bit bizarre.
Where do you even get live shrimp to feed to an axolotl from?
Crowland for £1.50.
You mean I could buy a pet for £1.50?
Yeah, you could go there, get a bag of shrimp, drop them in a. Apparently, he went to me, they'll live about a week, and I thought, well, she'll eat them before then. They've been alive for about 3 weeks now.
They're probably not the same shrimp. They're just regenerating.
Yeah, but that's superb if that's the case. If I've created a little population of them, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with the axolotl, but like you say, I've got pet shrimp now.
You got a renewable food source for it as well.
Well, not for it even. Don't we eat shrimp?
Yeah, it's
Well, there you
prawns,
go.
isn't it?
There you go. Bubblegum shrimp.
Yes.
Set your own. Keep that
Perhaps you need
shrimp.
to get a boat in there.
Well, just start trawling my fish tank
Yeah.
with a little net.
If they reproduce too much, you might have to get yourself a little model boat with a net on the back. Be amazing.
I'm hoping I could just like put my frying pan in and 3 or 4 will just slide onto it. I'll just fry them up.
I don't know how to break it to you that your frying pan won't retain a lot of heat in a tank full of water.
Well, no, I'd take it out of the tank and put it on the fire.
I see. You don't know how frying pans work, do you? You're going to put it on the fire.
Well, I don't
Have
do
you,
much
have you ever cooked anything?
No.
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 Splendid. How's everybody else?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm okay.
No animals living in your fridge.
No.
No strange
Not that I know
new
of.
pets that are supposed to be food.
No.
No one else lives in a cartoon. Then
I don't live in a cartoon. I just have a bizarre life.
I'm pretty sure you're a cartoon character.
Mm.
Should we talk about some video games then?
Sure.
Well, that's the cue for someone else to speak, because obviously I've only played Football Manager,
Again,
which I can talk about extensively.
I think that game is bugged. Just while we're on the topic, because I've been playing it this week, and I noticed someone on Twitter. It seems like if you don't play it for a while, when you start it up and you win the first game, then you'll probably win the next 10 with very little changes to make. If you start it up and you lose the first game, you'll probably lose the next 10 no matter what you do.
It's all psychological.
I don't know that it is, because I tried it last night. I wonder if this is just the guy being a bit of a silly sausage. And I tried it out, and basically I won a load, and then I think the game went. Basically, what happened? I didn't sit there and think I'm gonna test this. I won a few games, and then it crashed, and I started up again and replayed the same games and lost them all, despite things being pretty much the same. And I thought, well, that's not psychological, is it? One or two of them being different, I can handle, but losing every single one was insane.
Morale's so crucial to FM18. So losing that first game is then a butterfly effect and affects morale and dynamics, and the onus is then on you to not leave it the same and change something up so that you can sort out your morale and get back to winning ways. So it's no longer a game where you can just plug players into a tactic and hit the space bar over and over again.
What I actually did was I lost like 4 in a row, and I just turned it off and thought, no, if you're going to be like that, then I'm not going to play you. So, it'll learn its lesson. It will go in the fridge if it carries on.
Nice.
I said last week I completed Civilization. I didn't mention it was part of a tame plan I'd set up in January that I had certain games that I play all the time, and I would just want to get them off my my pile. Obviously FTL was one of them. I had 2 things I wanted to do onto the mobile games, so nothing fancy, but I wanted to get an X-Raid pass on Pokemon Go, which means basically winning a randomly generated guest work nonsense from Niantic that has no rhyme or reason to it. And I wanted to complete the Red Alert challenge on, what's it called, DC Legends, where you have to basically, if when you're fighting on it, you have to do 12 battles in a row, and if your characters die, they're out, and you have to then bring in other characters. And obviously, because you've got such a big team, your team gets weak really, really quickly. So they've been my 2 kind of things I've been trying to do for like 3 weeks now. And I've been trying to learn how to game the system on Pokemon Go. Not necessarily game it, but understand it, find out how to improve my chances, to the point where I was taking my son out all last weekend to the park to do different raids in the hope that we'd get picked for this bloody raid pass thing. And in the middle of the week we got an invitation, so Sunday we get to go to the park and try and catch a Mewtwo. If we don't catch it, I've been preparing my son all week as to say, like, it'll probably run away, don't freak out. But I've suddenly thought, if he catches it and I don't, I'm probably going to burn the park down. I hadn't thought about I've been telling him that he might not catch it and that I might get it and he might not, and then it suddenly occurred to me last night that he could get it and I don't.
Just knock his phone out of his hand if that happens.
Well, exactly. This is it. So I got a feeling we're going to have an argument.
But hang on a minute, though. Didn't like news come out today or something like that was a bug?
Well, sort of. I'm okay, I think. Basically, I had a bit of I messaged them asking them how on earth we're supposed to do it, and it's getting on my nerves. And they basically said, just keep focusing on the same park. Basically, don't float around doing loads of different ones. Just go to the nearest park and raid there exclusively, and you will probably get a pass. Now I did some research, and apparently this one down the road from my house is the only place we've ever had one in Deepim. So I just kept doing them there, and then me and some other people who I told them, and we'd read that if you get 50 people do a raid there, it triggers an event, and then it'll invite however many people out of the 50.
Hold the phone. You're telling me you found 50 people still playing this game?
Well, I was just going to say it counts me doing it 5 times as 5 people. So
that's all right.
Yeah, but I mean, there's still 20 of us who got an invite for Sunday. So there's about 25 of us playing at least, because I know 5 people who didn't get an invite.
Right.
But yeah, hopefully I'll get it. That'll be that crossed off the list. But then just coincidentally, I managed to do the DC Legends Red Alert challenge thing. I couldn't believe it. I've been trying to do it for weeks, well, for months. Sorry, like since I've been playing the game, since they brought out this irritating challenge. And then just the other day, I got right to the last one. It was all of my team versus just Hal Jordan, and he just kept just shielding himself over and over and over and over again. And I sat there for about half an hour trying to grind his shields down. And then I came to like Aquaman's wife. Her only ability is to make people bleed. And I just made Hal Jordan bleed to death. And then job done. I've achieved everything I need to do with that game. I can stop thinking about it now. But I mean, it's a great game. I love it. But I don't have to. It's not on my list anymore. But then I've just spent so much time trying to complete FTL and getting nowhere. I don't think I'm ever going to do that because I've been trying in anger like constantly. I'm
you
just
want
not
to take your iPad to EGX or something and sit next to a grown-up and have them help you through it?
Yeah, maybe. I forgot I have it on the iPad. I've been playing it on my laptop. That's so annoying. Why didn't I just play it on my iPad?
Did you see the creators of it have released a new game at the end of the month?
Yeah, it doesn't look as good though.
Well, I don't know, but I don't know.
Perhaps it'll be possible to finish this one.
Yeah.
It might be better than I thought it looked anyway, to be fair as well. But I wouldn't be surprised if this one was impossible to finish.
I'm tempted to have a go on FTL just to do it first time and paint your wagon.
I don't think you would.
I'll stream it. I'll stream it and get the hive mind helping me.
That's what I considered doing, but I don't think anyone. There's not many people that's into it as I am. I think I had a look on Steam, and Clarky maybe is the only person who really put any effort into it. I think. So my wife just brought me a charge wire.
Is that a fancy cocktail that you're drinking tonight?
No, I didn't mention in my Pokemon Go talk there that they brought out a new load of Pokemon tonight. So I got my phone on next to me just in case anything pops up.
Oh.
But yeah, I don't think anybody else plays it as much as I do. Anymore. I think they used to play it.
Finished it.
Yeah, like the people who did play it loads have finished it a few times. I'm just terrible at it, and it's really irritating because I like it a lot and I want to complete it. And I think I shouldn't have just set myself the challenge of doing that because now I'm stuck. I feel like I'll never do it. I'm trying to order it by people who have played it the most. I've played it for nearly 40 hours, and Cigar's played it for nearly 40 hours, and I think that's about it. Apparently, you've played it for 0.7 hours, Kev.
Have I? I must have given it a go at some point. Remind me what it is. What is it?
It's the one where you're just I can't think of how to describe it. The spaceship that you fly through space. And...
You've got to go from like point A to point B, and you've got a series of like.
It's like each level is like you stop at a point.
Oh goodness me! No wonder I don't remember it. I played it for 40 minutes on the 31st of May 2013. 5 years ago.
Yeah, and this is how long I've been trying to complete it. I'm looking through this.
I remember it now. I might download it and finish it while we're doing the show now.
Because there's people on here, and I'm thinking like John played it for 4.5 hours, completed. Danny Mason put 20 hours into it. He probably completed it. Badger spent 10 minutes on it. He probably completed it. You know, there's loads of names on there, and I'm just thinking, yep, they probably completed it. Some people have it in their library but haven't even touched it, like through 1972. Jay's got it and never played it. Bouncy seems to have never played it. Chunky Monkey. It's weird reading down it because there's just people who played it for a decent amount of time and have probably just completed it and moved on with their lives. And I just can't do it. My brain doesn't have the capacity.
I bet they haven't. I really bet they haven't because it's not that easy.
There's Clarky with his 55 hours. He's completed it, definitely.
Played it 2 or 3 times, I think.
Yeah, he has.
Well, I played it more than Pab. I can see Pab's got his 0.6 hours.
Yeah, because I got it in a Steam sale around that time. Put it on and then I wasn't in the mood for tutorials and went, yeah. And then got to it, I don't know what I'm doing. And then I didn't. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm getting annoyed, so I turned it off. I never went back to it. Just not for me.
Do you feel like you're missing out by not having gone back to it?
No, some games like that are just not for me. So I accept that and just roll with it.
I like playing it because of the soundtrack's really nice. It's just chilled out. It's quite funny at times as well. Because it changes it's not the same story every time. So I think if it was, I'd have probably lost my marbles by now. I'd start putting animals in fridges and stuff. But no, I do like it. I just wish I could complete it and just move on. I don't think I've ever spent this much time on trying to complete a game and failing. Normally I get it by sheer fluke, just absolute fluke, but the final boss is ridiculous.
You need to buy yourself a guidebook for it. I know you love a guidebook.
I found a guide online, but...
That's where you're going wrong. You need a book.
Well, it's impossible, isn't it? Because the guide online talks like I'm going to definitely come across certain things, and then when I'm kind of like, right, when I got to the end, and it's like, well, I never had a chance to buy a teleport or a cloning machine or whatever, so I couldn't do the things it told me to do. Because what bugs me a bit as well is it was saying get a teleporter and just send your crew onto the end boss ship and just shoot the place up, but what kind of happens is if they die on the ship, then your game's over. And if you've only got 5 crew members, you're screwed. But they added in a clone machine later on, even completing it on the original difficulty, which bothers me because they've kind of made it slightly easier, and I still can't do it. So yeah, I don't know. Someone needs. You're right. I probably just need to take my iPad to an event and
get some nerdy looking kid to sit next to you and help you.
I don't know that kid would be any good though, because it's not about reacting quick. And I mean, Proton gave me a lot of tips that still put me in good stead today. Like, if someone attacks your ship, you just move all your crew into one room and then open all the windows on your spaceship, and all the air gets sucked out, and all the attackers die, and your crew's all right because they're all standing in the oxygen-rich medibay room, and that's a good idea. It's just other stuff. I don't know. It's a very hard game. It's brutal. I don't think I'd be any good with any properly hard games. The ones that people play that are actually like out to hurt you. But then I suppose once you know what you're doing with them, you get around them sort of things, don't you? So maybe they would be better. This one's just mean.
Anna, what have you been playing?
Not a lot.
Liar.
Because I haven't, because I've been at uni, so I haven't played a lot. When I haven't been at uni, I've just been playing Assassin's Creed.
Why don't you tell us about that?
Oh, you're back in on it, yeah?
Yeah, I was looking at my games thinking, right, what can I play that doesn't really take a lot of thinking that I can just do? And it was because with Monster Hunter, you have to think about that. With this, I can just play it and go and hunt people and shoot them in the head with my bow. And because I don't know how far I'm away from finishing. I know I am at level 37. I think the max is 40.
Yeah, 40 is no. Has it gone up since the DLC?
Oh, possibly.
The DLC might have, because the DLC came out last week, didn't it? Mm-hmm. The level might have gone up a little bit. Or maybe that's the next one. I know they were either talking about it or they've already done it. They've increased the level cap. So it might have gone up, but not massively. It wouldn't have gone up like 10. It would have gone up like 5 or 10 at the most.
Yeah, but it just seems like every mission you do gives you a lot of XP. So you it's not a slow level up. It's quite fast and punchy. So just been playing that, just going across that, because the map is broken up into sections according to difficulty. So you can go into them places, but you won't last very long. So I did that like the other day, and I thought, because it was like a quest that had multiple layers and in multiple locations, and then the last one, I assume the last part of it was in a level 37 area, and I was only level 34. And I thought, I can take that on. No, I can't. Don't do that. It's very bad.
Have you gone up against them bounty hunters yet?
Yes, I took one on. I beat him up, and then he dropped a note. And again, that note was a level 40 mission. I was like, no. Wow.
So how many of them have you beat now then?
Just one.
Just one. So what level did you say you were? 30?
37 now.
37. So you could go back to this like Alexandria, where the starting bounty hunter guy is, who's a level 20.
Yeah.
And you could just work your way through that way, because there's like 10 in the game.
Oh, do you have to beat them all?
Yeah.
It just says hide from them. So I did.
It probably tells you to hide from them because you take them out, you get good loot from them.
Yeah.
But back to Alexandria, the starting one, that first one is level 20, and then the next one's level 22, and then after that is level 27, I think.
Oh,
so you would probably get halfway through them at least before they started matching your level.
Yeah.
You just got to be careful. You just got to be careful when you attack them, because you got to get them on their own, because as soon as you, because usually they ride in like a pack of like people follow like tracking them or what have you. So there's a crew of guys with them, and if a crew of guys is there, if you get them at them on the roadside, another roaming like horde of people come wandering past and join the fight. So then you're suddenly fighting 10, 15 people as well as this big bounty hunter.
Really? I took one out when I was in a fort. So I was taking over it, and I was sneaking, and he decided to join in. Yeah, and he came out a corner where it was like quiet, where I took out everyone, and then just went around the corner. It's quite funny.
Yeah, I don't like that. He did that with me. I spent half an hour waiting for him to go away. I just sat in a bush waiting. I just put my controller down and leave you there for a bit until he goes. Because I was in an area I really shouldn't have been. Like, the guy was much more higher level than me. So, but you do get really good stuff from him. All exotic gear, and you get loads of XP for it as well and stuff like that. But there is the quest to beat them all. So,
I might have to. But so like yesterday, because at some parts of the game you can play as the girl, as Aya.
Yes.
So you can play some of her, and I thought I'd finished the game, and then it carried on. I was like, oh, okay, keep going, So I really, because I won't look online, so I don't know how far I am from finishing, because there is just so many things, like there's so many side quests to do, like it's never ending. You go somewhere, and there's quests, but sometimes they're like too difficult for you, and then you go away, and then you go back to that area because you have to, and you're like, oh, I couldn't do this level earlier, I'll do that one now. So yeah, there's a lot to do, and there's not a lot to think about. You can just go on your own way.
I think that it's nice and neat, stress-free game. So, main story to complete 26.5 hours. Main story plus extra content 46 hours.
For Assassin's Creed?
Yes.
I've played 48 hours.
Completionist 74 hours.
Okay.
So if you're going for everything.
I think Assassin's Creed games used to be like 10 hours.
Yeah, I
probably got good.
I did. I think if you go on to no, it's not on here, but I've seen it like yesterday, and it did say 48 hours in game. So I've spent a few hours in this game. I did get this game when we went to EGX.
No, it was MCM Comic-Con London, October.
Was it?
Yep. Because you sat there in the flat in London playing it.
Yes, I did. The second time starting. So, it looks so pretty. Like, it's stupidly pretty. Like, because I got Elex a few weeks ago, and that looked shockingly bad. And that came out after Assassin's Creed. And then you look at Assassin's Creed, and it's just, the comparison is mesmerizing. I just don't know how they do it. It just looks so good. So I've got this, and then I want to say March, Far Cry 5 is out, and I really want to play that. So
Yeah.
is it March?
I think so. Mid to late.
I'm hoping it's March.
Yeah, it is.
And then in April we've got God of War. So there's a
really?
few coming out in the next few months. But if I'm 48 hours into Assassin's Creed and you're saying it's going to be about 70 hours completion,
let's have a look at this. I got a tweet off Chunky Monkey in the week. 105 hours on Assassin's Creed Origins,
Yep.
all locations, all legendary equipment.
excellent.
105 hours. You still got plenty of time in that game.
Exactly. So, and I've got uni work in between that. So, you know, what you're gonna do? I don't know what it is. I just this week, ever since I've been back, I just want I had all that time off and didn't touch a game. Now I'm back into uni. I've got work. All I want to do is games. So I don't know. I think it's just a stress reliever because getting up at 6 and getting home at 6 is no one's idea of fun.
No.
And I have to go on the college bus full of the lovely college people who are always excitable, and I'm like 32 thinking, shut up, let's just get home.
Yeah.
Have quiet. But
I
oh
know
no. Because the other day I got on, and I told Kevin this the other day, and this girl was on her phone, and I was like right at the front, right? And the driver was talking to this girl, and she was on her phone. The girl was like, "Oh, are you texting your boyfriend?" And she went, "I haven't got a boyfriend. All I've got is people who I go to the library with." And she was like,
Language!
"Oh, well, I'm sorry, but I forget." But she was 17 years old. Like, what has happened between my generation and this generation? Like, I just don't understand. I just don't get it.
Offer a sincere apology for Anna's appalling language. If you're listening in your car with your kids, good job, Pab bleeped it. That's all I can say.
Please, Pab, bleep that because I forgot. But it was just like, I just don't understand what's happened, and I just it shocked me. Really, I was like, who talks like that? I'm so openly about it, but
So you for today, Hannah.
I know. It's shocking.
Yep.
But please beep it, because I do feel bad now.
You wouldn't let me tell my joke.
See, because your joke was wrong.
I don't think you heard my
Oh,
joke.
I
You're
heard
thinking
it.
of something else.
Oh, no, I did hear it.
You're thinking of the other thing.
No, I'm not. I know exactly what you said, and I just didn't want to react because I thought it was appalling.
Fair enough.
I have just caught a lunatone.
All right. You got Pokemon Go on, have you?
Yeah, it looks like a
moon.
A moon with a beak.
On the other side of the world right now, everyone's sun.
Oh, it is.
Okay. And now I've got a Poochie Nina.
You've got a lot of catch. When was the last time you turned it on?
Yesterday, but I didn't play it. I was just having a look. So we went out for chips, and we were right next to the community one.
Yeah.
So I had a look what was going on, but it was blue, and I didn't fancy taking it on in the freezing cold. So I didn't.
Bravo! You didn't just happen to get an X-raid pass then when they ballsed it up and invited everyone? Have you checked?
I don't even know what that means.
It's like a black invitation in your items.
My items?
It was such a mess up that it'd be quite funny if you got, because you shouldn't have one, but
I've got some rare candy, I've got a raid pass. A sun. Is it
an orange raid pass?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, that's not relevant then.
And then potion. So now I don't have one.
No.
Right, you nerds done talking about your little nerd game now?
No.
I wasn't let it go yet.
I mean, your nerd game, I said. I wasn't being plural. I was asking if we were done on Pokemon.
I wasn't talking about Pokemon, I was talking about Assassin's Creed.
Kev.
I'm very confident you were both talking about Pokemon.
Play the tape back. I don't believe him.
Pork and beans,
Yeah,
pork and veg,
Yeah.
plums and veg.
Bottled it.
Please talk about something that's not Pokemon related.
Okay, so Monster Hunter World.
No! For goodness sake!
But
What has this show become?
I've not played a massive amount of it.
Good.
I've probably played about 4 or 5 hours, maybe most this week. But playing that game with other people, to me, seems kind of vital. I don't know if you think the same, Anna, but
Playing what? Sorry.
Playing Monster Hunter with other people seems kind of a vital thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like the first few monsters you can do it by yourself, but then after that you're like, oh, I need help now because it does get nail biting and you're down to 5 minutes. So yeah.
Oh, I got up to the fight with the Anjanath.
Right.
And it's like the T-Rex looking monster, the big one.
Yep.
And I was like, I tried it one go. I had one go of it. I couldn't do it. I threw up the flare thing, the SOS flare. Some guy came in,
Mm-hmm.
and at some point, he was nearly dead. Definitely, he was nearly on the way out.
The dragon?
Yeah, he was nearly done. And then I got disconnected from PSN, and he disappeared. So I was fighting on my own again.
No.
And then he just one-shot me, and that was it. Mission over, because I'd already fainted twice beforehand, so I only get free faints. It was mission over. I was livid. So I recruited some people, some of my friends in who were playing it. Said, can you just come and help me do this? Because it's driving me insane, this stupid monster. And they came along with all the big old bruting gear and all the bloody lightning weapons and all that nonsense. And I was like, what the hell's all this?
Yeah, how do they get them?
Well, this is the thing, you see. I was really impressed by it all, going, oh, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And then I recruited. Then some of my old friends had got the game and started playing it. So I started playing with them, and I was just waiting for them in the like the lobby, not the lobby, like the hub world sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I wandered up to the what was it, blacksmith, and you start looking through all the gear in there. There's all sorts of stuff in there. I didn't realise. I was just trying to upgrade my weapons in iron. And then not realising I got into the bone one, I can start creating the bone ones because I've been collecting all these bones around the maps when I've been hunting.
Yeah.
And one of the bone sets has lightning affinity with it. So I'm like, oh great!
Okay.
So now I've got this lightning affinity, which is really cool, and it paralyzes them. But yeah,
That sounds great.
I've played it. I've not played it without people this week, and it makes it 10 times a game. It makes it so much more fun. Because it does get a bit monotonous at certain points, because you're playing it on your own, you can't do the damage you want to without spending pretty much the entire length of the 50-minute time limit killing it, and you just can't do it. Yeah.
That's annoying.
Yeah, I mean, I got to the actual Zora Magdaros, which is the big lava thing, which is at the start, which is rampaging through the thing. I got to that mission. I don't know if you've got that far into it.
No.
That's not a bad mission. That's after the Anjanath. That's not too bad. That was a good mission. I then got to another area, which is like another area after that one, and there's the Tsitsi Yaku, they're called, something like that. I can't read it now, but yeah,
Never been there for you.
Yeah, yeah. That was these are like the Dilophosaurs from Jurassic Park. If you know what I mean, you know what things are. Them things like the flap out, like the little things around, like the mane around the neck, and then spit things.
Yep.
It's like that, but when it puts the mane out around it, it flashes at you like a speed camera. It just blinds you. You stun there. I'm like, brilliant. So they got speed camera monsters now. And they drive me insane. They just kept driving me insane because I was like, I'm not even looking at it, and I'm still getting stun locked. It's insane. But yeah, I've continued to play that, and I'll continue to go on with that because I want to get all the gear. Oh, much cool loot. Oh, tell you what else I did. I completed the Horizon quest.
Did you?
I did it. I was finally high level, and it's really easy quest. All you got to do is just get to the certain level. I think it's finished now. I think it finished on the 8th. but you had to.
Oh, that's hopefully they'll bring it back. Cause
I imagine they will. I don't see why they wouldn't. But you have to kill all these certain flying birds in this arena,
right?
With one of these speed camera monsters. But the speed camera thing just flashes them, and they all fall to the ground. So then you start whacking them and beat them all up, and then that's it. Then pretty much that's it. And then I've unlocked been able to craft a Watcher outfit for a Pelican. He's got like a little blue. He's got like his face is just like a little blue light now. It just shines around. I think it's really cool. It's really cool. And the next Horizon event that starts on the 28th of February, I think. And that one is the armor set. And the armor set, once you be able to get the armor set, it completely actually changes your character look to look like Aloy.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I'm like, well, I'm all about that now. That's my only goal now. Just so I can have Aloy running around in Monster Hunter. So that's about it for Monster Hunter, really. A little game I've been playing is called Celeste. I don't know.
I hear a lot about this.
Game is amazing.
Daphne.
Sorry?
Nothing.
Okay.
Really? You're going to read a 90s... It's not even 90s, it's early 2000s. Jeez.
So, this game is from the people who made Towerfall, which was like a battling platformer style game, multiplayer game. So the aim of this game is an arcade platformer. But it's really hard. It's really hard. So you've got to get through. You got the aim of it. This girl wants to climb to the top of this mountain, and each time there's a new level and there's a wacky story. I have 2 buttons, pretty much. No, 3 buttons, I'll say. A jump button, a dash button, and a grip button. And your grip button, you've only got 5 seconds, maybe, a grip, and before you fall. And then they're like the Meat Boy-esque levels of difficulty. So there's you've got to zigzag, jump up here, and then dash onto this platform. Then the platform will fall, but every time you land, you only got 1 dash, and you've got to touch the ground again, and then you get another dash. So I think it recharges every time you touch the ground. So there's it's an intricacy to doing these levels. But I'm not getting frustrated with it. I am getting frustrated with it. I tell a lie, I am. But I can see the light at the end of the tunnel sort of thing every time. I know what I've got to do. It's just the executing it is the hard part. It's not. I've not come to a level yet where I've just gone, I don't know what I'm meant to do. This doesn't make sense to me. I've not got lost, so to speak. And that's what I like about it, because it's all about execution. It's about repetition and practice in it. And it's like, okay, I know where to go. I need to go up there. And I need to drop into that space without touching the walls because they're covered in spikes. And I need to get on that platform, and it will take me over there. And then I need to a wall jump up here and then grip onto that one there, and I'm out. And it's all like that. But it's so good. The controls are perfect. I've just got to some levels which start modifying it ever so slightly, and you've got these bubble orbs, which will do something, such as they'll just shoot you across the map, or just go a direction, or give you an extra boost every now and again. So it's just changing it up now. I've only probably put 4 hours in, maybe. But okay. I feel like I'm playing. Every time I get to a level, I'm like, I want to finish this one level. That's all I want to do. Just want to beat this one level. So I will continue to play it, and I will probably continue to play it to completion, because every time I play it, all I want to do is one level at a time. It's not become a point where I only want to do one room in the level. I want to get through it all. So I'll continue to play that because it's great. And one last thing, I don't know why I played this yesterday. I booted up City Skylines again inadvertently. And played that for a couple of hours. Because it's a free weekend, and I clicked on it, and I was like, "Oh, there's some free DLC on this." I didn't actually purchase, so I went to purchase it, and it just booted it up automatically. I was like,
"Well,
I'm in now." So I just started a new game, and they've put a lot of stuff into that game that I didn't know about. There's so much stuff in that game. It turns out I only played about 5 hours of that game beforehand. I was like, wow, I thought I'd put loads down because I must have put dozens of hours into SimCity, the newest SimCity game.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, me and Kevin lost a lot of time in that game.
Well, this was supposed to be the successor to that game. This was supposed to be the game that made that game better.
It was rubbish and confusing and didn't understand what was going on.
What, Skylines?
Yeah.
I already have it.
I got it too, and it doesn't run on my laptop. It's a piece.
Well, it can't. To me, I felt the controls are a bit finicky. But once you get into it, and once I kind of get to grips with the controls, there's a real good game there. But the only problem is I couldn't fathom it. I found this last time. I went on my save that I'd done last time. I was like, I'm hemorrhaging money, and I don't know how to get it back without spending money. I just don't know how to do it. And I started a new save and did the exact same thing again. Where I was like, oh, I got myself into massive amount of trouble money wise. I couldn't keep up with electricity like production.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm making wind farms for fun, but then I can't afford schools. I can't afford police like stations or anything like that. So there's crime going on. There's people dying everywhere. I need a graveyard, and I'm like, I just don't know what to do. My mind is broken.
Lake.
A lake.
You don't need a graveyard.
I had a river.
Yeah, just sling them in there. River's even better.
Yeah, but the graveyard.
They then become the problem of the next town along.
Well, that might be the case, but the graveyard comes with the guy who goes and collects the dead. So I kind of need him. I need him. He's not employable on his own, and I can't give him individual instructions. Sling him in the river. No. That'll probably come back to bite me because I'll probably sling him in the river at the wrong place where the in pipe for the water is for the entire town. So start getting poisoned water.
Yeah, your people would just turn a bit silver, wouldn't they?
Yeah, maybe. But so I ended up just turning it off again like I did last time, just going, I don't know what to do. I think I need to look up like how to optimize this game to be, or I need to like actually work on it more and be much more stringent because I took 2 loans out as well. I was like, yeah, I've got money again, loans. Just took 2 loans out and then they wouldn't give me any more money. And I was just sat there watching my debts going up and the increase, the amount of money I owed increasing and everything. You
remind me, when the original SimCity was out on the SNES, I used to be really scared of. I never used to want to get the loan out because it always bit me on the backside. And my cousin did it. That he got the loan out, blew all the money on whatever, and I was like, but now you can't. The game's wrecked. You're going to debt and it'll go wrong. And he went, no. Here's what you do. And he just turned the TV off and we went outside. And then we came back about 8 hours later and the game was still just playing away on its own and all the debt had been paid off and he was suddenly massively rich. And he was like, now I can just carry on and build the city I want to build. And I was like, okay. And so I remember the amount of times my SNES would almost set on fire over the years where I'd just leave it on for a couple of days and not touch it and then come back and someone would nudge the bloody cartridge as I was like going to save it or something and the whole save would be corrupt. But these games love getting you in debt, just hooking you in.
Yeah, I did consider that at one point. I just thought I'll just leave it for a bit, and I sat there for a good probably 20 minutes, and there was no sign of it going down. But there was more and more people on the grid starting saying they needed electricity.
That's why you need to turn the monitor off and walk away, Pab. He gave you full instructions what you're supposed to do.
I know, but then I was like, this will be a long time waiting.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Everybody will move out. My town will be empty.
Yeah, but you'll be rich.
Kevin,
what?
the dog just fell off the sofa.
How?
He was asleep.
Oh, goodness me.
After you also reminded me, Pab, talking about that game and debt and whatnot. After the podcast the other week, I fired up Democracy 3 for absolutely no reason. I don't know why. It's not even that entertaining a game, but I basically ran the UK as the Green Party because that's the party that set me out for some reason. And I actually officially played it 4 different playthroughs because the first 3 times I got assassinated in my second quarter as PM, which I don't even know what I did that was that dramatic that I always got assassinated by the capitalists. It just seemed mental because I thought I was doing quite a lot for them, but I figured out why they wanted me dead, and the 4th time I played it, I managed to completely remove the deficit from the UK. We had a surplus. I'm pretty sure we had very little tax in the end, and everyone in school was really clever. We had the best education in the world, a space program. Yeah, it was ridiculous, but it was weird. As I say, I had a really steep learning curve of getting assassinated several times, but eventually I got there. Best PM that this country's ever seen. I got 100% of the vote.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I am quite impressed that you've managed to have a space program that apparently funds itself with no taxing.
I know. It was a bit bizarre. I mean, I think I obviously had some tax, but I basically removed homelessness. Completely dismantled.
Was it my river idea?
Well, I dismantled the welfare state and got rid of social housing, school meals, and childcare, and all the things that I rely on heavily. But yeah, once I stopped paying people's pensions and stuff like that, it all became great. I don't really get it. I don't really get how these people were surviving. Maybe they all died.
Well, there we go. Sheepdog's insight into how he'd run this country.
Well, I had, as I say, 100% approval rating by those that survived.
Yeah, because you killed everyone who didn't agree with you.
I wonder if I did. I'd have to read through it. I showed exceptional skill in managing the economic affairs of the nation. The people owe their wealth and prosperity to the remarkable economic genius of myself. I created a green utopia, a crime-free utopia, a one-party state, which makes it sound like I was a dictator. I made it for the first time in history that men and women were equal, and others were equal as well.
Equally oppressed.
Yeah. Had full employment.
It sounds like you just created the USSR, Sheepdog.
I did win victory by a landslide. Man,
every vote we counted was for me.
Religion was wiped out of the country as well.
This is communism, isn't it? You basically created communism.
Well, no, because nobody paid into the state. It was every man for himself. I think that was the thing. I think basically I tried to go for communism 3 times and the capitalists assassinated me. So then I tried to go for what they would want, and it kind of fixed the world. I mean, I didn't unlock the socialist paradise achievement that is on there. So I can't have been. There's also a God's Kingdom achievement that I didn't unlock, which is a surprise in itself.
Splendid. Is that it for video games then?
I believe so.
Yes,
Uh,
what about motion pictures?
Did I mention I watched The Hitman's Bodyguard?
No.
Yeah, I watched that the other day, and
Supposed to be all right, isn't it?
yeah, it is all right. I read that it was originally made as like a serious film, but didn't really work. Wasn't very good, so they made it into a comedy. Which I watch it, and it's like, yeah, it does have funny moments, but it still doesn't really feel like a comedy. I don't know. It just seemed like maybe they just reshot some of the scenes to make it a bit more humorous, and it was all right. It was just a middle of the road film in the end. It's a bit, I don't know. I'd recommend people watch it if they want to just sit and watch a film one night, but it's not something to go out of your way for. Yeah, I don't know. I can't really. It was a bit predictable. What's his name? Who is Deadpool? He was the bodyguard. Ryan Reynolds was the bodyguard, and Samuel L. Jackson is the hitman. And it's kind of one of those. It's a bit silly in that it does the whole, well, his job is protecting people from hitmen and other issues, but then he has to protect a hitman. What? That was basically how it's premised.
Yeah.
That's how I imagined them pitching it at the execs. Just like, the record just scratches off. They flip the table, tell them. That's how every pitch in America seems to be these days. A cop that murders people in their spare time and all that nonsense.
Splendid. Is that it? No one else has seen another film. Good.
I'll tell you what, yes. No. Hang on. I watched Blade Runner again today, 2049. Not today, earlier in the week.
Is that because of that? What's it called? Altered Carbon. Everyone's talking about at the moment.
No, I didn't watch it. It came out on Blu-ray this week, so I got that this week. For me, it's still probably one of the best films from last year.
I've not seen Blade Runner, so I can't comment on Blade Runner 2. Why did they go for the 2049 and not 2?
Because it's set 30 years after the first one is set in 2019.
Most sequels are.
It's set 30 years in the future. It's 2049, which is why it's called that. But it's really good. Really, really good. I recommend it to anyone to. I mean, for me, I got a little bored, and the amount of times I've tried to watch Blade Runner, the original, and fell asleep is unknown. I just did it every time, and I've struggled to watch it last year before I watched this new one.
I have that problem with Superman too. I fall asleep whenever it comes on. And no matter what time of the day or night it is, it just knocks me out.
Yeah. So I mean, this one is a sci-fi crime thriller, something like that, I'd say. But it's so good. The aesthetic of it is so nice. It's so cool. The futuristic world that it's in. It's just amazing, and it's got quite a gripping story. That's I don't know. There's something about that. I just found myself just not even realising how long the film was. It was just happening around me. I think I said this at the time when I watched it last year. It's just you don't realise that it's nearly a 3-hour film. It just goes by and you're just watching it and just you're engrossed by it, and it's just a pleasure to watch. So, I don't want to spoil any of it, so I'm not going to give you any spoilers or whatever. So just go and watch it. Give it a watch, especially if you like the first one, you'll like this even more.
What if I've not seen the first one?
It's not necessary. It would help probably just to get yourself engrossed into the world and the gist of things. But it gives you. The film starts with a definition of what a replicant is and who made the replicant.
I do love a film that starts with a definition.
It tells you what a replicant is and who made them and where we're at now, pretty much, and it just goes from there, basically. So you don't need to have seen it, but it probably would help if you had seen it.
Splendid. What about TV shows then, boys and girls?
You've been watching Weeds, haven't you?
We have. It's pretty much the only TV show we've watched all week. I think we've watched about 5 seasons of it in about 10 days.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's quite good.
It is good.
You should watch it. It's by the people who do Orange is the New Black. This was the thing they did before.
Oh, is it finished then? It's not ongoing?
No,
they
finished this and went straight into making Orange is the New Black.
Okay. Because I mentioned most of the things you just said earlier, but I didn't know that it finished.
Yeah, it's all on Netflix. It's it was 2005, 2012. So the technology, you're like, oh my gosh. And the husband in it, so you only see him a few times, he's Negan.
Oh, right, yeah.
And only a few times you see him in it at the start, because he's not in it that long. So we watched it from there, and it's very good. Kevin laughs a lot at it, so it must be
very funny. It's just funny. It's a good black comedy. It's cool.
Right. Okay.
And we tried that Altered Carbon.
Yeah.
Didn't really watch anymore.
I looked at the adverts and I just don't think everyone keeps telling me it's great and I like it, but in my experience, that doesn't end up being true 95% of the time. I think people have a weird opinion of what stuff I will like. And they never seem to. They would never ring me up and go, "Oh, have you seen that they're bringing out a Pokemon Go game? You'd like that?" Or FTL. It's always some weird like, "You'd really like Blade Runner." I'm like, I've tried to watch it and just my brother-in-law's absolutely enraged that I'm not a massive Star Wars fan, but I've seen them all and I just don't. They're all right.
Yeah.
It's like. I don't know. I just don't get it. And he thinks I'm trying to be contrary, and I'm like, no, I just don't get it.
It's not.
So yeah, this one, I'm just maybe I'll watch it and it'll be the best thing ever. But I've just got a gut feeling about it from what I've seen.
You should definitely watch Weeds, though. I know you'd like it. Yeah.
Well, I think you're probably right though, because I like Breaking Bad, which is similar sort of dark humor and about drugs, and Orange is the New Black is the same people. So yeah, I don't see why not. I've looked at it in the past. I think I looked at it after Breaking Bad. Didn't realize it had already been, because if it was in 2005, it would have probably finished before Breaking Bad came out. But I saw it and thought, oh, it's just the same story, but she does weed. Do you know what I mean? I just didn't bother watching it because of that. Whereas actually, I've heard from a few people it's good.
Yeah, there's people in it from Orange is the New Black. I saw 2 people today from Orange is the New Black, and just like you see people, you're like, oh, she's from so and so. So lots of people who were little names back then have moved on.
I think they'd do a crossover, wouldn't they?
Yeah. Probably there isn't, though. I've completely missed it.
Maybe.
You don't know, do you?
Yeah. This kind of links into the comic bit later on, but I don't know if I said last week, the Flash has been really cool since he's come back, because his villain this season is the Thinker, and they've tried to make quite complicated, like the Thinker's stitching him up kind of thing. But I was a little bit miffed with the weakness of their writing, which is unlike me, I know, but they had a character randomly, unexpectedly get the ability to read minds last week, and it dramatically helped them solve an issue that they were trying to overcome. And then this week, Elongated Man has discovered that he can make himself look like other people, and it came in very handy for a specific task that they've had trouble solving.
Right.
And I was a bit like, this is really irritating. They don't do this. What are you doing, Anna?
I'm killing a Roman. Sorry.
Just started clickety clacking. Anyway, I was like, they don't do this in the comics. Why on earth are they just randomly, like, they'll be going, how on earth can we interrupt this? Like, so someone was selling metahumans on the black market, and they wanted to figure out how they could
selling what?
Metahumans, so people with abilities.
Oh, okay.
And they were like, how do we solve this issue? And then Elongated Man walks in talking about how much he hates somebody, and then he starts looking like that person because of his ability. And I was like, well, this is ridiculous. And then I was reading Teen Titans in the week, the comic, and they had the exact same sort of thing. What's his name? King Shark, is it? Well, the half shark, half man mutant thing attacks. And they're like, oh, he's built an entire underwater kind of base with people that are half shark, half human. And then Aqualad just inexplicably joins out of nowhere. Oh, hi, everyone. I have the ability to control water and breathe underwater and do water stuff. And I really want to be a Teen Titan. And they're like, get out of here. We don't need you. And then they're trying to fight this shark man. And they're like, leave us alone. You're not helpful. And then they carry on fighting the shark lad. And then he's like, I could actually help. And he solves all their problems. And I just thought, have comics always had this lazy little... Have I just not noticed it until this week?
Of course they have. That's basically what comics are.
I would have expected them to bring him in when there was a drought on and tell him he's useless. We don't need you. We're in a desert. You're no good in Dubai. Get out of here. You can't help us fight Sandman and Clayface and all of these people that are completely bone dry. And then he'd have had to just learn to help in other ways, and then I'd have had it relevant. Do they not plan ahead?
Most villains only exist to be the direct counterpart of the hero they're facing.
Yeah, but you don't bring him in at the same time, surely. Of
course you do. That's what comics are.
But it was just like, really, could they not have? Like, they should have just. I mean, I suppose
you also have to remember the Teen Titans is a kids' book.
I've been really enjoying it, but that might be because I was reading Super Sons. I told you about this the other week that they did the crossover with Superman, and I was like, oh man, they're making me have to go and read Super Sons, and then the crossover in that went to Teen Titans, and I was like, oh, you buggers, and then I've gone and I've read all of Super Sons and all of Teen Titans now. But it's awesome, except for that little bit of... I mean, a kid's mind would be blown if they brought him in a bit sooner and he was just struggling to fight dust-based villains and then became useful later on. They'd think that was a masterstroke of writing genius.
Kids are well known for appreciating writing genius and loving it when superheroes are really ineffective and can't do anything. Kids are all over that.
Well, they'd like the emotional roller coaster of it.
Yeah, they love an emotional roller coaster. They don't just want fight scenes and the hero to win.
I don't know. Maybe I was different as a kid. But there's no excuse for the Flash to be doing that. I mean,
because that's not a kids' TV show.
Well, it's on too late to be a kids' TV show, isn't it?
It's on the CW. That's the children's network. It's for teenagers.
It is a bit of a teenager soap opera.
It's Dawson's Creek OC territory. That's all the Arrowverse has become. It's Dawson's Creek with capes.
It's a bit different from that. It has been decent.
Sorry, masks as well as capes.
Yeah. Arrow and Flash have been good this year. Supergirl's been a bit weird because it's just all about a partner.
Is he called Dawson?
No, but while she was saving everyone, he got blown through a wormhole or something and then appeared under the sea in a spaceship, and he apparently gone into the future, lived there for a decade, then gone back in time 2,000 years, been frozen underwater, and then his ship had surfaced like 6 months after he'd left in real time. So he's like 2,500 years older. He's lived 10 years of his life. He's married somebody else, and Supergirl's barely got over the fact he disappeared. So it's a massive drama, and that's all it's been about all season.
Sounds swell.
Yeah, that's gone a bit... I don't know, they need to fix it. I did a big rant about how they just make women characters really boring on TV because her sister's whole story is about wanting a kid and not being able to have one because she only sleeps with women, which is a fundamental problem in trying to have kids.
Splendid. Any more TV? Pork and Beans, what have you been watching? Anything exciting?
Nothing.
Well,
nothing of any interest.
Perhaps you should pull your finger out and try and watch.
No, I know. I do want to give that Altered Carbon a chance at least, and
I wouldn't bother.
A few other things on Netflix. I know that they're queued up, ready to go, but I'm too much into my YouTube.
Your boob tube?
No, YouTube.
What are you watching on YouTube? Anything good?
He likes Lelujo vlogs. Yeah. So he's a big fan of the vlog, Sheepdog.
Yeah.
See? I just don't like your clickbaity titles.
Got to pay them bills.
They serve a purpose.
Yeah, I know.
Pay them bills.
And the fact that that's what most of them are about. The clickbaity titles are relevant to the content.
Ergo, not clickbait.
Yeah. That Yorkshire.
It does depend. Some of them aren't bad.
Have you had one of those Yorkshire puddings yet, Fab?
Yeah, I have.
What did you think?
Weird.
Even though you're from the north, you've ruined my theory. It was just really flavourless. And...
It was like having the pizza without the base because you couldn't taste the Yorkshire pudding at all.
Absolutely, that's exactly what I thought.
And it wasn't like a normal pizza because they filled the Yorkshire pudding with like tomato.
Yeah, it was just
tinned tomatoes.
It was like having cheese and pizza toppings on the top of tomato soup.
A little bit, yeah, because like I said, they just filled it. They just filled the Yorkshire pudding with it.
Yeah,
it's like that's not a pizza. I've got another one in the fridge though, so that might be a late night snack. Yeah, but I bought them together. Yeah, I'm not bidding it. I'm not wasting it. That's a normal. I'm not wasting
£3. Can't waste it.
£3? I would £2. £2.
Down here, they're £3 each.
Oh, that's inflation.
Paying northern prices now,
Yeah,
are you? I see.
Yeah, seen that, wouldn't it? Yeah.
That's hideous. I'm writing to Morrison's.
You can get a refund.
Why do I have to pay an extra £1?
We live in the south. He lives in the
No,
north.
It's because they've got to travel down south, haven't they? From the north.
They make them in Doncaster. We're nearer to Doncaster than you are.
That could be a good point, yeah.
I'm not impressed at all.
Oh, well, you have to write to your local MP.
I'm going to write to my local MP and yours. Tell them asking you. They need to ask you for £2.
Yeah. Okay.
Distinctly unimpressed. Anna, are you sticking around for comics?
Yeah, I'm doing some kind of horde mode in Assassin's Creed. It's weird, so I'll just listen to you lot while I kill some Romans.
Splendid.
It's weird. It said horde mode, and a bunch of people from my friends list are in the leaderboard thing.
Is it the arena?
Yeah.
Yeah, the arena's just a horde mode. There's like an endless horde mode. You can come out at it any time, I think.
That's kind of cool, though.
Anna likes a horde mode. She ain't coming out of it. Right, what have we been reading then, boys and girls?
Books, I believe. Picture books.
Do you like a picture book?
Mm-hmm. I don't appreciate Anna belittling them.
Well, I kind of already covered mine. I just been binge reading Super Sons and Teen Titans. Although after I got about 4 or 5 into Teen Titans, I realised I'd already read them, and I'm really forgetful.
How'd you get 4 or 5 in before you read that?
I know. It was just it was only the resolution where I suddenly thought, I remember this story resolving. Damn. And I remembered it just as I was about to read it, so I couldn't even read it. Enjoyed that. I kind of wrecked it for myself at the wrong moment. But it's about Damian Wayne realizing that his granddad's going to murder him because he's 13, and also finding out they're going to go murder the soon-to-be Teen Titans. So he goes and kidnaps them all and makes them Teen Titans, and tells them that if they don't work with him, they're going to die. And I read all that, enjoying it, and then when they come to actually fight the people that are going to come and kill him, I thought, I've seen this fight before. Damn. I don't know how I did that, but yeah, it's very good. It is cool. I don't think it is. Well, I don't think it's as aimed at kids as you suggested before. I think they're all just. I mean, it's probably a bit less. None of them are R-rated or angry, brutal, or anything like that. You don't read any of the Superman or Batman and see them do things that kids shouldn't see. But I guess these ones are a little more balanced for kids.
Splendid. What about you, Pork and Beans?
I've read one book this week, and comic book, and it's possibly one of the best books I've read.
Comic books.
And
what was it?
Spider-Man Blue.
But he's red, Pab. He's red.
No, Nitty ain't. Have you read? Have you heard of this?
It's not like Spider-Man After Dark, is it?
No.
Oh.
All right, Sheepdog, calm down.
Bit of blue for the dads, is it?
No.
Is that what we've got here?
I don't know what it is. I don't know
Jane.
why it's called Spider-Man Blue. In the sense of, I don't know. Anyway, it's really, really, really good. It's a story. It's Peter Parker on like a what are they called? What are them things called that you record voice with?
Microphones?
No, yes, but no. The actual, like are they called
dictaphones?
Yeah, he's got a dictaphone, and he's talking to. He's basically like doing a confessional to Gwen Stacy, who's dead at this point. So he's basically telling his story of how he met her and how he nearly didn't end up with her, and how it's so good. It's one of the few books that just like I didn't read instantly want to read it, but I was interested in to know what was happening next every time. It's only one book, 6 issues, but this is so good. It really is. And
I'm just looking at it on Comixology now. Should I get the English or the German version? Which one did you read?
I read the English one.
Okay, I will.
German ones.
Kevin, you've already had pocket money on your glasses.
I know. I'm just having a look.
Kevin.
Anyway, so I've read that, and it's just I instantly went to because it's by Jeff Loeb. I don't know. Do you know who Jeff Loeb is? I've heard of him before.
He's a comic book writer.
Yeah. So I instantly went on there because at the front of the book there's Captain America White. So I went, right, okay, Captain America White on the wish list, and then there's also Daredevil Yellow and Hulk Grey. So I'm like, right, okay, I have to put them all on my wish list and just keep an eye on them. But Spider-Man Blue, I don't even know where I've heard about this. I've heard about it somewhere. Someone was talking about it. But it's just such a good read, and it's probably the best Spider-Man book I've read. It's probably the best. It's possibly even one of the best Marvel books I've read, I would say.
Goodness
I've not read many Marvel books, and I don't read many Marvel books because I don't know why I don't. But this one is really good. Like I say, it's self-contained and worth the read without a doubt.
Splendid. I've also read one book and one book only this week. Sorry, Pab, my mistake. And my one book that I read was Day Tripper, which is another one of my books that I picked up in the Comixology Christmas sale for about £2 or £3. It's in the DC Essential Graphic Novels collection on Comixology as well. They consider it rather important. It's by a Brazilian writer artist team, Fabio Moon and Gabriel Barr. Never heard of either of them. And it's very odd. It's basically it's a bit of a hipstery, arty book that's trying to give you a message and all that stuff, like what you normally get with these fancy ones. But it's a pretty art style. It's like watercolors. It looks like looking at it now. It looks like watercolors, rather than your normal comic ink. It's nicely drawn, and it basically tells the story of this fella dying, but not just dying once. It's each chapter. There's 6 parts to it. Each chapter also has a subheading of a number, and that number is the age he is when he dies in that chapter. And it's just, so chapter 1 starts with him dying at the age of 32 and tells the story of if he died at age 32, how would his death come about? And it looks at different ages he could die throughout his life and tells the story of how he would die then, but they all still kind of intertwine with each other, and characters that get introduced in parts of it sometimes show up in other parts, and not dying at a certain time has different repercussions for different people. It's quite cleverly done, and it was for £2 or £3. Highly recommended. It's on Kev. It's all, as well as being on DC's Essential Graphic Novels list. It's on Kev's get it for £2 if you get the opportunity list, which I think is the more prestigious list of the two. Because
you don't have an agenda to peddle, do you? So
exactly, they're trying to get rid of all these books they've got in their warehouse. I'm telling you, this is worth £2 of anybody's money.
You just reminded me. You said about DC. I read today on their Superman run of Rebirth. They released Superman 39. It's called Goodnight Moon, and I was a bit like, okay. I don't really get it. It's done the whole sort of, because all building up towards Action Comics number 1000, and the stories are all kind of intertwining, and it's showing like the death of Krypton and all of that. And then it just had this really random like Justice League one-off story where they basically just go to an orphanage or cancer ward or something like that. I think it's a cancer ward for kids, and they just take all the kids to the moon for the day. It's completely random. I read it and I was like, I'm not really sure why that was there. It's a nice little story. It's not very superhero-y. They just go to the moon. And I was very like, what are DC doing that for in the middle of their run towards 1,000? It's like they had it lying around and they needed to fill a week. But it was a decent story. I reckon some people would enjoy it. And another one they had seemed, it's like they had a week where they just thought, let's put this out. They had a story about it was Crypto, the Wonder Dog, and Batman's dog. I forget his name. Supergirl's cat. Some random parrot who's famous and a superhero, and a pigeon that's a superhero, and Batcow just rescuing a load of dogs from an alien who's trying to steal pets and free them from their human slaves. It was very, again, I read it and thought, why is this in the middle of a run of comics? Like, completely one off out of the blue. I know they do it from time to time, but they're both just very strange stories and stand out enough that I thought it'd be worth talking about them, because they're just mental. I can't remember who wrote them. I should have found out. But the Crypto and whatever the Bat Dog's called, it was entertaining. It had Detective Chimp in it as well, who seems to be getting mentioned more and more and more at the moment. I'm just reading the latest. I was reading the latest Superman one a minute ago, and they kept mentioning him in that. So I think they're bringing him back more prominently.
Alert, alert, alert. I'm just noticing in my Comixology library that The Wicked and the Divine 1923 came out this week, and I haven't read it yet.
Yeah,
so
it's around tomorrow.
Urgently, it'll be the Pantheon before the one we're currently with. It's direct prequel.
Yeah,
I read some of the older ones, and I just didn't really feel like I felt like that really is just tick. Do you think this one will have something relevant in it?
Well, it's all giving you backstory for the different gods.
Yeah,
and it's interesting to see who the 12 are. Because I've flicked over to the first page to see the 12, and just trying to do it in my head, I think there's 8 of the gods we have in the current pantheon, but a couple that I don't think I've seen in any of these previous ones. I don't think we've seen Neptune before. No. Neptune is one of this pantheon. I don't know who Set is, but Set's in this 12.
Set, no. I mean, it could have been in the previous standalone.
So there's, we've got some different gods as well, but you've got the old faithfuls, like we've got Lucifer again as a man. Male Lucifer, like we've had in all the prequels, I think, have been a male Lucifer. It's Wicked and the Divine. It's going to be brilliant. I think this is the last one shot that they're doing in the run. So
my feeling on that is good. I'll read this one. Maybe that'll change my mind. But some of the other ones, I was just like, I'd rather you just got on with the story.
Well, they don't. They'd have a month off if they didn't do these, because Jamie McIlvey doesn't draw these. The reason these exist is to have a book out in the months when he's trying to catch up and get the main line drawn.
Well, he needs to, I don't know, draw quicker.
I'd rather he drawed perfectly the way he does now. He's got the most unique and wonderful arts.
You are right. He's amazing. I've got a friend who, she's like I've got 2 friends actually who are really good artists.
Ooh, 2 friends.
2 friends who are really good artists, and I sent them both pages from this and just said, like, you're good, but you're not Wicked and Divine good. And they, like, I said it a bit nicer than that, obviously, but they appreciated it. They've obviously looked through it all, and it's given them a bit of food for thought. I reckon any artist should probably read this. This should be taught at art degrees.
Well, perhaps you should teach an art degree.
Maybe I will.
Perhaps that's your calling in life. Sheepdog, art professor. And your thing can be that you, because it's art and it's all about self-expression, they don't need to see your expression. They don't need to see your work. They just need to hear your words and let them seep into their own work. I reckon you could spin a career out of this without ever having to do a drawing.
Well, to be fair, once you got a bit of a reputation, can't you just draw squiggly lines and
remember,
send a messy bed in?
Sheepdog, you've only got to pull the wool over art students' eyes. I mean, it's not like you're working with scientists. I think
Jesus,
you're right.
You're spot on.
It's like teaching PE.
One of those art teachers drew a superhero chair for somebody and put Batman and Robin with the Avengers, so it shows the level of intelligence he's working with. I was just like, mate, you can't do that. Break that chair and make a new one.
Right, are we done then?
Yeah, I think so.
Splendid. Well, if people would like to follow us on Twitter, you can do that at MGUK Podcast, or you can follow me at Lelujo.
And I'm at RB6K.
I'm at Mr. Lujo.
And I'm at Pab1986.
We also have a Facebook group, facebook.com/Mature Gamer Podcast. Don't go to our website, though. That's full of porn.
Not from us.
I reckon, I don't know if I said to you or whether this happened since the last show, but Sony won't give us any review copies anymore. They just said, I don't know when you ever got them, and I rattled off a load of games that we've been given to review, and I wonder whether they went to our website. Just thought, I'm not giving it to a porn site. Can we not buy that back? Is it too much money? Is it?
You are free to buy that back whenever you want, Sheepdog. You knock yourself out.
And I'm asking, has anyone checked?
I think it's like 300 quid.
Oh, balls to that.
Yeah, that was my reaction.
Let it die.
Exactly.
That's a shame.
Hold on, I'm having a look now to see if it. I don't know if it's actually a full-on porn site or if it's just a space holder with some porn on. Buy this domain. Hold on, I'm clicking on buy this domain. Takes me to GoDaddy. £179.60 to rebuy it.
Well, I hope whoever has put it at that price chokes on the money.
Or we could buy maturegamerpodcast.co.uk for a penny.
Really?
Yeah, perhaps Sheepdog will buy us that as a little treat.
I haven't got enough money to buy all that.
What, a penny?
Yeah, but it's the extra bit as well, isn't it? Come and think of it, I've got free hosting forever, haven't I?
Yeah, so buy the domain for a penny.
Yeah, but then I have to set it up.
So, maturegamerpodcast.co.uk will be our new website from Sunday when Sheepdog's finished setting it up.
I'm not.
See you next week, boys and girls.
Have a good week.
Bye-bye.
Thanks very much for listening.